conversation with today? He's in
Hi, Kevin.
Costa Rica.
Nice to meet you, Dad.
Jen from Costa Rica. Teacher, please excuse General Heller. He's from Costa Rica.
We want a physician's note from him. Welcome. Everyone's back. We've got 2 new folks here this week, and this was one of the weeks, one of the few weeks during the school that we had a lot of people missing, which is totally okay. But obviously, the more you're here, the more you're going to get out of that. The judge was telling me we should start banishing people as he does in his law school classes, but we won't do that. So, what I really wanted to do is, as we start here, as we look at where everyone started, why we play, and what do we want to play, I want you to kind of, for yourself, and we'll get Dr. Collins and Mrs. Volker up to speed here. So everyone knows, everyone here? Everyone? So what we did last week is, we did the tape that we did. Did you get to see the tape?
No.
When you leave tonight, we'll give you the copy of the tape from last week so you can revisit the first hour of what we did. And what we really did last week was, the first hour was to really look at why do we play golf and what do we want to get out of this golf school. What we're really looking for is the intention of this golf school is not for us to give you everything that we know, because I say that we could do that, and I think that it would be an ineffective way for you just to get better as a golfer. What we really want to do is start from a place where you're already whole, and with what we know, we will help you discover that. So it's more of an exploration and an inquiry into your golf game, not an exploration into what I've done in my past. Because I bring with me all of the stuff that I have, which can be a lot, but how effective is that for me, and how we give that to you. So Dr. Collins, we want to just clear this up. We're going to put you right on the spot. I think everyone last week very much got into everything in a really great way. So why do you play golf, and what do you want to get out of the school?
I play golf. I've been playing since I was 12, and I enjoy the feeling when you hit a good solid shot.
Okay.
It's fun to play.
Great.
Fun to do that.
Great.
It hasn't been happening often lately.
Has been happening often lately. Okay.
What do I want to get out of it? I want to get back to hitting it solid again.
Okay. Get back to hitting it solid. Okay. And so that's what you want to get. Is there anything specifically that you'd like to get out of the school about solid?
I feel like because of some neck and shoulder problems, my swing has totally gotten all out of kilter. And I've lost kind of the feel that I think I used to have at one time.
He can get chiropractic out of this class. I can do that.
Yeah.
Business cards be passed
Business
up
cards,
here.
sure.
He gets to do a root canal.
I think he's got a cavity too.
And I think some of my some swing problems I had were aggravating
Okay.
my neck and shoulder. If I would improve my swing, I think I would aggravate the injuries less.
Okay. Great. So improving the swing. That's great.
See what Kevin can get out of that to write down.
Yeah, we've got that tape too, so we can get that too. So what we're really trying to do is tape about half the school, and for those of you who miss sessions, is that we want to get back. Mrs. Volker came a half an hour early tonight to get kind of what we did last time, so maybe this is a little redundant to her even as we've been talking for a while, but that's how we really like to handle the makeups, because we really want to make sure that it continues on. The golf school is designed from a beginning to an end, not really like there's a piece in the middle where we give you the secret and the rest is designed around that. It really works beginning to end. So we've got the tapes, and we've got a couple copies of the tapes that we'll make after every school, so people who aren't here, we can rekindle what happened at the last school. So we'll get that to you before we leave. For the group, Mrs. Volker, why do we play?
What did I say before that was so outstanding? And I already watched the tape, so I knew what you guys could say. Well, I said to Vic I wanted to play because it was a game that you could play well on into your life when your knees go and you can't play tennis anymore or whatever. And also because I like being outdoors. And at this point in my life, my children, my responsibilities are such that you can put the time that it takes. And what I want to get out of it is to have what almost everybody seems to want, more consistency to my game. So I have confidence that when I get up there, I'm going to hit the ball decently and have more continuous performance than erratic performance.
Great. Why? Why? Outdoors. Great. So as we look down to what everyone else wanted, and I think it's pretty interesting to really look at Dr. Sam wanting consistency and to play better, passion for it, Mr. Roach to create different shots, relaxing. Everyone, there's very much a common thread that everyone has in terms of what we're looking for in golf, but yet we do it all at different levels. So as we look at the different levels that we play golf, everyone still wants the same thing. So in order to get everyone up a level, I think that there can be a lot of listening to what everyone else has to say and what they're experiencing in the golf school can happen. So as we get into tonight, as we'll start back with some short putts, and we'll do that, and we'll work through that real quick, and we'll get into letting go. I want you to really look at how you've played golf, and just for right now, if you've played golf for the last 5 years, and you could play golf the next 5 years, how would you like it to be different? Really look at that in terms of what it is that you want to create for yourself in terms of golf. Because if you did the same things you've done for the last 5 years, would you be in the same place? Or where would you like it to be? And listen from that viewpoint so that we can create the next 5 years of your golf game out of that, not out of the same stuff that we've been working on, just about getting better and working on it that way. So it's really looking at yourself maybe in a different way than you've ever looked at golf in the past. So your golf game the past 5 years and noticing that. So it's maybe a place to start from as we start to, and we'll start to discuss that a little bit as we get going. So any questions about that? Okay, great. So what we want to do is we've got, this is perfect. We can have everybody, the line is here, is to hit 3-inch putts. So everybody, Doctor will spend an extra couple of minutes with you. We'll just kind of throw some golf balls down here. Everybody get a ball and get a part of the line. And you can go to any part of the line. We've got lines here.
One block, there's only 2 dozen.
So what we want to do is just really start to just check out those 3 inchers.
This is a lot easier than string.
A lot easier than the string it is. Your 3 inches is about 3 feet, so.
No, Larry, he just wants to show you how good he's gotten already. He goes right to 3 feet.
This tape's got a ridge in it.
A little ridge in it.
Yeah, it won't stop like that.
Not that much.
Okay, so let's everybody stop and let me have your attention for a quick second. One of the things that I want you to look at right now, and anyone who wants to share anything with us, just speak up here, is that what I hear is I can hear the carpet, I can hear the whatever, well, this, and this. What's showing up for people? What do you hear, Eric?
Do you mean the room, what they're saying, or?
So what you're doing?
I'm trying to stroke it, which is hard for this one spot,
Okay.
because if it's long, slow stroke, can't do it on here because I follow through more than what's going.
Okay, great. Judge, excuses, okay. What do you hear, Judge?
Excuses, we all,
Yeah.
it's not us, something
Okay.
else.
And I want everyone to really get this, because this is really, when we start to talk about putting, we can talk about it from a point of view, yeah, we're hitting a 3-inch putt. What we're really doing, what could be happening, is that you're starting to notice your hands. But what is really happening right now, in the last 2 minutes that we were putting by ourselves, is that we were trying to hit that thing on the line. And I think that we get attached to the result. There gets some attachment, well, there's a crease in the paper. There's this, there's a spike mark in it. Maybe we're starting to have things come up for us that happen every time we play golf. So if we were to look at this and say, okay, let's look at that differently. That's the way we played golf for the last 5 years. What I want you to do now for another 2 minutes is I want you to really look at putting and just notice what's going on with you. Because that ball has no ears, it has no feeling, and it has no pulse. So what I want you to do is get that it's just about you noticing what's happening with you, and notice what happens. So for 2 more minutes, we're going to putt, but I want you just to check out what you're doing. Which is doing something different than what we just did, possibly.
Mr. Bell, how are you?
Late. That's all right. Come on in. Grab some wine. Welcome.
You can walk in whenever you want to.
Don't crowd out.
Breaking our concentration now.
Probably helping you then.
Sure, I would just changing
Can reach out to speak here. What we're gonna do?
Okay, what did anybody notice that time? Was it different than the first time? Anyone? Mr. Thorpe?
My grip lightened up.
Your grip lightened up? Great. Yeah.
Kind of got into a little zone, I was just kind of making some same rhythms.
How about you, Henry? How did you?
Hard to be short, isn't
It can be hard to be short, and I think that's really great. Is that you notice that, but it's still staying in that result. And, trying to be short. I think that as you get to notice that, I think that notice is that, boy, it's so easy to say, wow, it's rhythm, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. We want to have a shift in where we're looking from, which is totally result driven. So what we want to be able to look at, especially tonight, as we start to look at not just your putting in 3-inch putts, but your whole golf game from a point of view of what would happen if I knew what I was doing every time. And that could, there could be a possibility that if I knew what I was doing, I'd have a chance. Because I say that right now, there's a pretty good chance that some of us like to think we know what we're doing, but we really don't. How many people think they totally know what they're doing on a putting green? Think that?
I'm comfortable enough with
Okay.
the stroke to know.
Great.
I know when I hit a bad putt, I know usually why.
Great.
It's usually because I tell myself,
Yeah.
don't do this or do this. I force it.
And one of the things I'd really like you to look at is what is it that you don't know about putting? And look at that tonight, because as we start to, what happens to us, and one of the reasons we want you to look at it from a different place is when we know something, we listen differently than if we don't know. So look at it from a point of view of that you don't know what's going on. And maybe something new will show up that'll make you even better putter. When we get into different things, and we'll do a real fun drill here in a few minutes, that we'll talk about at that time. But the best putters in the world work on putting. And there's something that they're always looking for in terms of putting. Whether they know it or not. I'm sure Aaron's a great putter, because great putters would say that. And that's very huge to be able to do that. So anybody else have anything that they noticed in that? Pardon?
I got to the point where it was smooth.
Yeah.
I could see the result, but it wasn't my concern. I wanted the smooth stroke.
So what I want to do now is I want to back up to 3 feet. So just take a step away, just a pace away, and we want to do it from 3 feet. So we do the same thing from 3 feet. Same thing. Listening, looking at what we're doing, not from the point of view of that we're trying to just land it on the tape, but really looking at it from the point of view of what's happening in our golf putting stroke. Give up the result. Give up the result for what you could notice about your putting stroke. Lots of great putting strokes in this room, but why don't you just listen to that little voice in your head that's talking to you, that's saying,
Who is he talking to?
who's he talking to? What's he want to know? What does she want to know?
This carpet breaks right. I wish I
That's why we put you in the corner.
Everything comes down right there, Lars.
I wish I'd said that.
Okay, the voice is starting to talk. My phone number is.
fine if you, it's fine. Give up that result. Right about now, you're kind of going, well, I'm still doing this, and what am I looking at doing? You know, there's a huge tendency for us, I think, to all get maybe even bored with hitting 3-foot putts. How many of you think you should make, someone give me the answer, how many 3-foot putts you think you make?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
8.
Okay, 8.
Yeah, could you pick up that?
What would you think the average on tour would be? A tour player. How many 3-foot putts does a tour player make?
9.
9?
Like
10.
5 or 6.
That's about 55%.
A 3-foot putts?
Yeah. So one of the things that we really want to look at is you start to practice, and it gets worse as you get away from the hole. I mean, a tour player is still only going to make about 2 out of 10 from 10 feet. And we come off the golf course every day and say, gosh, I missed 5 3-footers. Yeah, that's what you do. But if we could continue to make more putts like that, look at your concentration level. What happens when you stand over that putt and you say, oh my God, I might miss it? Anybody ever had that one? Yeah, we've all had that one. So as you start to look at that, be able to say, what would happen if I was concentrating on what was happening, what I was doing, as opposed to what the result might be if I miss it. The great putters, like Aaron here, I think, you get up and say, so what? I had a classic. Last Saturday I played golf, hit every green in the front nine, get the 8th hole, got it 3 feet right short of the hole, going, God, I might miss this one, might miss this one, might miss this one. Whoops, missed it. Happens. I mean, it does. But we start to get into the result aspect, and I think that's one of the things that you want to be able to look at yourself is as you approach putts, approach them with an approach that you're looking at what you're doing, not about the result that could happen. And I say that most of us, we've missed that 3-foot putt, we bring that with us. We bring with us every 3-foot putt we've ever missed every time we have a 3-foot putt. If we could give that up, how many putts could we make? So as you're hitting 3-foot putts for another minute or so, look at it from that point of view and notice how you still go right back to the result, and that's okay. But what would happen if you could give that up and notice what happens with your body? Maybe your hands are lightening up, or you might notice something else about your stroke. Okay, so go ahead and hit some more 3-footers.
I think I answered your question. Doesn't it depend if you can really analyze what makes a successful 3-foot putt that you hit? You have, it seems to me you have to have a certain awareness already of what you're doing in order to divorce yourself from the result. And if you're a beginner player and really making 1 out of 10, are there things you're doing wrong that you need to know before you divorce yourself?
This is actually a great question. And Mrs. Volker is absolutely in the perfect spot, because we were talking before tonight even, and talking about, well, as a beginning player, aren't there still things that I have to know? You know, I have to know what to do to make that 3-foot putt, which is the way that we've always been trained as a golfer. Well, I'd be a 2 handicap, but I don't know how to do that. You know, I'm going to say that may be true, but I'm going to say that I don't believe it, and that I don't want to support that, because I'm going to say that as you get up hitting 3-foot putts, I heard a great sports psychologist one time said, my cat can roll a golf ball. He says, my cat can roll a golf ball. You would be as good with your right foot kicking the ball as you would be with your putter, because you just learn. It's how you learn and how you look at learning. Because yes, there is, I say there are great putters are born, and they just are able to just get up there and rip 3-foot putters right in the hole, no fear. What is the attachment to the 3-foot putt that says I shouldn't make those 3-foot putts? Why do 55% of the tour players, you know, why do they make 55%? You know, we really want to be able to distinguish the difference between all of these putts, and for you to be able to distinguish your learning of what's going on, because there's something you're already doing in every aspect of your golf game that you don't know yet. We want you to be able to check out what you're doing right now and then evaluate from that point, from evaluating from, okay, I'm aware that this is what I'm doing. I'm not looking at it from, I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. Because I say that a beginner has just as much of a chance to make that 3-foot putt as you do.
whether it's a beginner or not a beginner, how many of you have stood over a 3 to a 5 foot putt, got up there and said, oh yeah, this isn't going in. Except to get up there, and you miss it, and you go, oh man, I pulled it. Reach back, pull the ball back, get up there, and hit it in. 95% of your second putts go in the hole. What does that happen to?
One of my favorite putting strokes is always this one. It's this one where, okay, here's the hole, and it's... What are you thinking about? I mean, where's your level of concentration at that point that says, oh my God, I missed it already? We all do it. But what we're really looking at is if you could give that up, to just be there and to be present with your stroke that's happening right now. Boom, 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 boom. Just let it be. Let it be. Because it'll find itself all right. Okay? Mr. Roach, any questions about that?
You know, my feeling is, you know, a 3 foot putt, a 5 foot putt. You get out there, you look at it, do the best you can. And my real feeling is it's in or it's out.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I miss it, I don't care what I'm playing for. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
And I can understand somebody that's holding stuff in, but I mean, if all you're going to do is put in a stroke on a scorecard, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's a 5 instead of a 4, or a 6 instead of 5, or an 8 instead of a 7. I don't know why anybody would put pressure on themselves making a putt. If you look at the putt and do the best you can, that's all you can do. That's all you can do in life.
Yeah. We attach so much meaning to 3 foot putts, it's amazing.
You should feel like you should make it.
One of my-
If it's 10 foot putts, you know, well, you can't make them all, but you think you should make all
Yeah.
those.
One of the great lines is you say, well, that 3 foot putt means as much as a 260-yard drive. Okay, that's not fair. You know, you have guys say that golf should be a game, that there should be a striking contest, of hitting the ball, and a putting contest. Because, I mean, Dave Pelz, who's the golf putting guru, says that golf should be 2 different games. And I'm like, well, that would be really fun. Who'd want to go watch you putt? I don't think, I mean, miniature golf may be popular, but I think at some age we maybe outgrow that a little bit about wanting to play it all the time. There's an attraction to this game that is really addicting, and it's more than just hitting the ball. It probably has something to do, in my opinion, with your ability to concentrate or not concentrate, to beat yourself up or not beat yourself up. Mr. Thorpe said it so well about self-validation and not validation last week. What we're really looking at is we're not looking to invalidate you. I'm going to say that a lot of our 3 foot putts we've always hit are just about, I can't do that. Miss that 3 footer, I'm not good. Make that 3 footer, I'm great. I don't want to be as good as my last golf shot.
Isn't it the fear of failing to doing something that you know you can do, and the negative feeling you have about yourself when you fail to do that physical act that you know you can do? You fail to control your body and your mind well enough to do it.
Yeah, and I think, and one of the things about that, and I think that as we get into this, is that what we're really talking about is not just, and maybe this is the biggest part of the school, is that we're not talking about anything we're doing. As we get into this, we'll talk about do instruction. Okay? Do instruction is if we all stand here and your eyes are right over the ball and your hands are inside the putting line and you take the putter back this far and you got to do this, you got to do this. That's do instruction. I'm not interested in that. I've been there. I've seen that and its ineffectiveness. Yeah, somebody who is incredibly committed could possibly get better that way. And I say that happens with the Nick Faldos and tour players who do that for a living. But I still think that there's a lot more, and there's a different way for you all to look at it. And I say that it doesn't come out of doing. It actually comes out of when you can be a great putter, like Aaron. I mean, I think it's wonderful that one person here says, yeah, I know what I'm doing. That's great. It truly, in my opinion, comes out of who you're being as a putter. I'm being a great 3 foot putter. I'm being a great putter. That's part of it. It's not out of anything that you can do. It's get rid of if you thought you were a bad putter, when you walk out that door today, be a great putter. Like we said last week, the advice that Harvey Penick gave to Tom Kite when he left for the tour at 22 years old, he said, eat dinner with great putters. What a great line. I mean, it's just perfect, you know? Be around great putters.
That explains Lars too, because we're out on the course and he hits the ball out so that it doesn't hit the green, but it's close. We go, don't worry about it, because Lars is a great little chipper and a great little putter. And then we put that in your mind. He goes up, thinks he can make it, and you make those putts.
Yeah, I don't-
No.
I don't like
Inside.
I don't like
Inside
anybody,
though, but. it's-
anybody in here would be afraid of missing a 3-foot putt, or even feel bad about it. I mean, if that's in your head, that's the thing to go first, because then you'll never, then every time you're over one, you look at it, I mean, I look at it, it's in or it's not, and that's basically all you can do.
Yeah, that's great. And the fact is that a 3-foot putt, you know what a 3-foot putt is? A 3-foot putt.
That's right.
But what are we afraid of?
But confidence over the ball, it makes all the difference in the world. You can talk yourself in and out of
There's no question that everybody here has gotten over a putt of any distance and known that that putt was going in. Just known that that putt was going in. You could see it going in, you could feel it going in, and all that happened was you just let it happen because you already knew it was done.
Yeah.
And by the same token, sometimes you know that no matter what you do, it isn't going in.
Sure. I've had that experience. I tell you what, one of the most fun rounds of golf that I ever had was playing the National Club Pro Championship my last year before I came here. I made the cut, so if you finish in the top 40 of the National Club Pro, you qualify for the PGA Championship. And it's something, I stayed with a good friend of mine, and he qualified. So I'm coming in here, and it's really meant a lot to me. I want to play in a major championship. So I'm playing with the best player in Illinois, Bob Ackerman from Aurora, who I've known for a few years, and I'm playing great. I'm not playing good. I'm playing great. I've missed 3 putts inside 10 feet, and I still got 3 under par. I mean, everything's coming perfect. I got 4 holes left. Ball hops in the water on the third to last hole, and I bogey the last 4 holes of the tournament. So what shows up to me, Bob comes up to me after the round, and he said, I knew you were going to make every one of those putts. I mean, I made some great putts coming into that. But it really looks it to me is that we can make it mean so much. I mean, I was terrified. I mean, I was exactly where I wanted to be. I wanted to play in the PGA. I was in if I made 4 pars in a row. I'm in. Exactly what I want, and I'm terrified. Why? It's golf. It doesn't make any sense. But to overcome that, and I say that the 3-foot putt is maybe the most feared shot in golf for a lot of us. And as we start, if we can look at a 3-foot putt differently, it can maybe help us look at a full swing, look at a chip differently. It's no different. We all have different pockets in our golf games at every different level that we play. So let's look at that and keep looking at that. Hey, we're checking this out. That's what we really want to be here for. So you're looking at learning to play better golf. That's our intention. We want to be more consistent. We want to have all this stuff show up. Listen for that right now. So let's go back to 3-foot putts. What was that last one?
Yeah, little punch there.
Yeah.
No stroke on it. And that's up the club.
Just keep noticing what happens. Keep noticing. Okay, before we back up here, what I want everyone to start to look at now is I want you all, as you set up here, does anybody have anything showing up in those 3-foot putts there at the end before I go on? Aaron?
Close my eyes.
Okay.
You can feel everything. And it's also kind of neat because I can hear the ball and the tape. So when I open my eyes up, I'd see if I can still hear it.
Great. We'll do some more stuff with our eyes closed here in a little bit. I want you to look at one thing now, though, too. As we set up the putt, what I want you to do is everyone just set up to a ball right now. Set up to a ball. And I don't want you to hit that ball, but what I want you to do is I want you to notice, are you calm or are you tense? What's calm and what's tense? Where are you tense? Mr. Thorpe had a great observation there with his 3-footer about his hands lightening up. Maybe you can feel that. Notice where you tense up. Really looking for, there's a calm point that we have. And I say that that calm point is the place where those 3-foot putts go in all the time. It's a place that we lose that judgment. We lose that, oh my God, here comes that putt. We lose that in that calm point. So really notice that. You can even notice that in your stomach maybe. So go ahead and just everybody set up and just notice that. Don't hit the putt. Just set up and notice how you get tense or you don't.
What about muscle strength?
Muscle strength?
Yeah, like back.
Okay. Notice if you're calm or you're not. Calm or you're not. Okay. So now, what we want to do now is I want everybody, we're just going to hit 3 more putts in 3 feet. What I want you to do, though, is as you set up to hit it, I don't want you to hit it until you're totally calm. That may take 5 minutes. That may take 2 seconds. But look at it and be honest with yourself. Because the only person who can ever allow yourself to be calm is you. So really look at that. So as you're getting calm, just notice, just like that. Maybe just like just melting into the ball there a little bit. Just melting and feeling great and calm and right in the heart of the hole. We'll do more with this with every shot we hit as well, because boy, that sure shows up when we're looking at, boy, I gotta hit this shot 110 yards. Oh no!
Scruffy.
Not too scruffy?
Boy, that.
Okay, everybody, get a partner. We're going to go back to letting go now, where we ended last week. So what I want everyone to do is let's everybody get a partner, and we'll start firing balls all over. I want to hit all the balls at that wall. So let's get everybody down here. We'll just kind of operate from the middle. Which way are you looking? Hit them all into this wall. I think it'll be easier.
From down here?
Yeah. Okay, does everybody have a partner here?
Don, you got a partner?
Not yet.
Okay. Kevin, borrow a putter.
Where did the Janonis go?
Sandoval.
What I want to do, Kevin, just borrow a putter. I want to do this with Kevin real quickly. So everyone get over here where you can see this. Last time we did this in the dark. I want to make sure everybody can come on up here, just anywhere where you can see Kevin. So go ahead. So what we want to do here is we want everyone just to start making putting strokes. And what we're going to do is we're just going to say, just going to let go. The intention of this is not to make ourselves right or wrong, but just to merely let go and let the ball go. Anybody see anything there? See it? Yeah, but one of the things is that, yeah, there's a teeny bit in there. Did you feel that? So what did you notice about that?
But I tensed up a little bit.
Okay, great. So if the intention of it is to let go, and here's Kevin, who's been doing this for a while, and he's still hanging on to it a little bit, you know, that may be our goal. We may never totally let go on the golf course. But what we really want to do is, that's what we're working on. And it's fine to work on that. So what we want to get everyone to do is be aware of what's happening, let it go, and we want to get this in there because I don't want any preconceived notions as we head into the next drill after this, okay? So everybody, hop in. One person can feed, one person.
Oh, okay, I'll be glad to feed you, because you didn't get fed that.
Anyway, can we get,
You all right?
what the spotter wants to do, it's actually really a lot easier just to put the balls down. Just pick a spot. The spotter can just pick a spot, and put the ball in the same spot on the carpet every time.
Better with the balls in front of you. It's easier to feed when they're in front of you.
Remember, we're looking at letting go.
You can just keep feeding.
Okay.
And notice if anything shows up for you.
The spotter also can probably feel the rhythm or the lack of rhythm when it shows up.
Ball in front of her. You
Pull
look
one
to see if
back
she flinches.
after a while, and just notice.
Notice if her strokes
Notice
get
it. Both of
faster,
you will notice
if she
it.
decelerates.
Okay.
Okay? And coach her with that.
Oh, good.
Remember, there's no right or wrong to this drill. There's no distance to hit. None of that. Just letting go is all we're doing. Just let it go. Just let it flap it out there.
I'm worried about your hands. That one. I know. I just want to think. I don't have 19.
It's good, though. It's nice rhythm. It's good.
You did this outside?
All right.
On the ground? Need to have a helmet with the spotlight on?
Before we switch here again, I want to stop with everyone in the first group. One of the things I want everyone to notice that's always amazing about that is that look at the clusters of balls. We know who the hard hitter is. She's ripping them off the wall. But one of the things that you can notice, and maybe the ones that you missed, maybe are the ones where you whoop, threw the brakes on or grabbed on. These others, I mean, that's a pretty amazing cluster for not trying to hit the ball at distance. I mean, that is possible to hit in that kind of a clump. If you tried to do that, if everyone tried to do that, they couldn't do it.
I didn't try to do it.
Yeah.
I just did it to Ted. Hit it, hit it, hit it.
And that's what we're trying to do. It's just, there is a knowing that we already know that we've got to trust, an intuitiveness that we all have in golf, just to let it go. So keep letting it go. So keep noticing that. If we want to, it might be even easier, but let's come to this end now and punt them back the other way.
Brilliant.
I'll be the one with brilliant.
See what that spells, Carol? It says, wow.
All the way down?
You can come all the way down if you want, that's great. You can just leave them there. Either way, you don't have to go. No right or wrong.
How many players do we have total today?
How many players? 3 on the course? I don't forget pulling this down. I hope the guys pulled the balls off the range. I didn't check that yet.
I will never understand.
I'm so overworked and underpaid.
Me too.
Day 11.
That's why he wants that guy to know.
I gotta back, I have to call this guy. I made a mistake.
Do we have people here tomorrow?
Yeah.
6:30?
You kinda go.
Staff meeting?
I called almost everyone. The only people I couldn't get hold of, how much I left a message with Art.
Yeah, well, I was.
The two I got to call tonight are John and Rich, not asking.
You're good, you're good. Didn't I seem like I was doing it real well? Maybe that's the key. If you're doing that, it's sort of the key.
Yeah, it's easier to put the ball down in here than it is outside.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot
I
easier.
found a little mark on the carpet. Six spots that I would.
You actually have to really focus outside. When it gets dark, it gets tough.
Yeah.
It's kind of like shuffleboard.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can tell. And you can tell when you get in the rhythm more or less. You were going along and I was
Yeah.
going right along, so you knew it was.
Does anybody? Get Dr. Collins finished here. Rapid fire.
I would have been done sooner, but Alex was really messing me up there. Pulling it back every other one.
The last one was perfect. What did anybody notice about that? We're going to do some more of this because I think this is a really huge thing that we want to do. But what did anybody notice about that? Mrs. Volker, what did you notice there?
I thought that I was hitting it much harder evidently than I was, because they ended up, I thought they'd be way down there. And I felt like I was thinking faster than if I was up there and be analyzing and doing, I probably hit the same way.
Great, yeah. So one of the things is, and I heard you use the term normal, faster than I normally do. What's normal?
Yeah.
I mean, it really is, to define normal is maybe the first thing we have to do for what you normally are. You normally are who you are. But what we want to identify now is it's still letting go. We're looking at letting go and just saying, yeah, that's what happened. That's the result that shows up. That's maybe the beauty of the exercise. All the balls show up in the same spot. How did that happen? I wasn't trying to do that, but they do. So as you start to look at this again, as we keep doing this a few times, I want you just to keep going. The intention of this exercise is to let go of all of that stuff, to not feel like what normal is, to not be trying to rip it off the wall, just to be letting go of that putting stroke and really being there, noticing what's happening, and boom, letting it go. Okay? So we got them back almost all set up, so we'll.
So maybe if you're hitting them like that, and you see what they're almost going to say, just then you can judge how much less you have to do.
Hey, when
to
that
shorten
ball
it.
here is funny, that does make you get a start. I think that's a roach.
Okay, off and running we go.
I'm ready.
Sure, yeah.
First time after that, you only have to take the first one.
Don't even look at
Don't
it.
worry, fall down.
I'm putting it in the same spot now. You moved back. Did you feel like you were too close? Did you feel like you were too close?
I went weird.
Okay. All right, right. You start swinging, because I'm going to see now, because you repositioned a little bit.
Get back here.
Yeah. Because it wasn't there. You were waiting. You were anticipating it. Oops, sorry. No, that's okay. You start.
Trick. You might stand in your line out, sir.
I noticed I finally got it wrong.
Ready?
Last month had a good run.
This was not one of mine.
Now, see that? Yeah.
You know, they keep down how it works.
There it is. You get the downhill award.
The ball was not
The Daniel award.
centered, you know, in the swing. They get out here, automatically adjusted the face of the blade. Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessarily what you want to do.
No, but it's something that.
And I'm gonna say, that may be something we have to work on.
I mean, what you want is the same stroke. The ball's not moving. You don't want it to be, you get back to the swing, it's loose, you don't want to have to come with this. You still want to be doing that. They get adjusted out and swing.
One of the things that I noticed there that was very interesting, Mrs. Henderson was good enough to have her cluster that time not be ripping them off the wall. But it's perfect, is that what it is that as your commitment to letting go gets clearer, the balls get closer together. I'm going to say that one of the things that you'll find is that if you want to play better golf, as you can give up the way you played before for how you could play after the school, that's what we're interested in. Because we're not interested in how you used to play. I really want you to be here right now, letting go of that stroke, because I'm going to say the funny thing that'll happen is great results might show up. And I think we've got to be ready for that. Because we're not result oriented right now, but great things show up out of that. So let's come right back and do that again.
Kevin said,
Yes, I do.
It's the commitment to letting go.
You still got it, though.
I think that ball was the back of the butter pass that went over the net.
Pretty good. Might get a couple by accident.
no.
Dr. Salem, just impressed, Doctor. The judge has all his fingers left too. I'm impressed with that.
I got Alex.
Hey, Dr. Sam, Judge, let's come on back down here and we'll go the other way. I was not judging you at all. No, Dr. Sam, I'm just noticing. Let's do this one more time back and through, and then we'll move on to another drill.
You gonna set her down again real fast and get it over with?
Sam, don't take his practice balls home like you did last week.
Took out the net and hit him in the...
Tell me this back.
You're slowing down. Am I slowing down? I'm not gonna be down here. I'm just trying to keep stroking. I'll get it there.
That's back, right there.
See, that's, you know what it is, it's the influence of waiting, anticipating the ball. Good. I can check off the- Oops, wait. Keep moving. Oh, you slowed your stroke down. Did I? Okay. Which is probably fine, because you wouldn't be normally hit as fast as you're doing. I did do it slower. You start, get your momentum.
You have pain up and downstairs?
Not much, no. Leg is turned in, I think, good job. He's got some medication. I haven't taken
You lift any weights?
No.
You gotta hit him back?
Yes, one last trip for the other person.
Good, all right, you ready?
There's all kinds of articles right now about how we can lift with any muscle, even in elbow, power enhances joint pressure.
And always.
You know what, we keep that place and I'll start, you use those desks and I'll adjust that, I'll adjust things.
All this takes into this ball, goes down there, so they can react and have your arm.
Hello.
Okay, what did anybody notice? Anybody want to share something about that? Anybody? Anyone?
I think that, you know, when the ball is taken away, I don't know if it's because you're not striking something, but it seems like you're falling through further.
Okay.
And I did not try constantly changing the rhythm because I didn't care if the ball there or not, but I think that it just had a tendency, you feel like you're out of stride or you're
Anybody else notice that?
It seemed the opposite with us. Seems like our stroke shortened, like it tightened up and didn't follow through. It took a while.
So you felt like you got longer. You felt like you got shorter, maybe grabbed on. Aaron, you have anything?
I think we both kind of agreed when we pulled the ball away, we both accelerated. We got that ball pushed, but
Yeah.
I noticed his length looked the same as mine did.
I think one of the important things to do is we look at that, because we'll do that drill again from quite a few times in the school. We'll do it with chipping, we'll do it with full swing, but you can't.
Better watch your hands. I want flyers.
But as you look at that, I'm going to say that everyone, and what is that? What is that when the putter starts accelerating or it starts moving at a different pace? I think one of the things that we're really up to identify is what that is it's different for everyone. Yeah, it may look the same with everyone. There may be something where it's just added on. I'm going to call it added on. We want to remember that we want to take away. I'm going to call every time when we start to just add on, we're going to call that maybe ginchi. Just it's like ginchu, and as opposed to just having it be free flowing. Just free flowing, just back and through. Just letting it go. And have that be your commitment as you putt this week. Because I think that if you can really get that you can absolutely stand up to a 20-footer and let it go, the ball will get in the way. And the ball goes in the hole a lot more than it does. I mean, I don't know how many 20-footers everyone in this room usually makes, but I don't know how many I usually make is somewhere. And generally, it's on about one hand. We really don't. Especially if we're playing a lot, we'd like to think if we can let go more, the ball go in the hole more. If we can cut our putts, if everyone in here cut their 5 putts off their score, there's 5 strokes right there. You ever see all these golf pros in these golf schools that want to talk about, we'll take 5 strokes off your game? You know, all they do is short game. That's what they want to do. That's how your score will get better, because it's such a big part of the game. What we want to really identify is what is it that is that self-interference, that there's that ball, it's gone, it's gone. We want to be able to look at that and really say, okay, I can feel that. Because when we can stand there and not have any difference, either way, that's when we can maybe have something. We can really start to check that out. So, what we want to do now is it's quarter to 8. I want everybody, if they want to, how many people want to take a little break and get something to drink or something like that? Anybody want to do that? Let's take a 5. Everyone's going to start hitting 10-foot putts with a partner. So go ahead and set up to hit this putt. Okay? So now, they're all very straight putts. And what I want you to do now is I want you to, you're all set? All ready and set to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so now there's no pressure because there's only 10 people watching you. It's really no pressure. What I want you to do now is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to hit the putt and don't open your eyes. So go ahead and, okay? Did you open your eyes?
No, not until after.
Okay, what I want you to do though, is same thing. Just close your eyes. Okay, but now, I don't want you to open your eyes until I tell you to, okay? So go ahead and hit this one. Okay, keep your eyes closed. Okay, where did it go? Keep your eyes closed.
Beyond the line.
Beyond the line.
Yeah.
Okay, and did it go to the left or to the right?
Well, I hit the rug, so probably to the right.
Okay, so the ball went
Yeah.
this way, and
It's actually the opposite of what I thought.
Exactly. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a partner, and this is what we're going to do, is The fact is that as we close our eyes, and Mr. Thorpe's messed around a little bit with closing his eyes, and maybe something is different. And it is amazing what happens. I mean, my dad has putted with his eyes closed inside 10 feet forever. He doesn't play a lot of golf anymore, but he's unbelievable inside 10 feet. But I'm not interested in you doing that. I'm really interested in you being able to establish, okay, the ball went left, and it was just a little bit past the mark. Okay? I'm not interested in where the line is. It's really in relation to this. All these spots are the holes that we have. So, and how you're able to identify, did it go this way, this way? So it's checking into your stroke again. We let go. Now we want to come back and notice what's happening with our stroke. And notice what's happening with that. Okay? So everybody move around, and Kevin and I will work around with everyone noticing this one. So,
Except I didn't know where it was going.
yeah. So go ahead and get out in the middle. You shouldn't need too many balls, but
What are we doing, 10?
about 10 feet. 10 footers.
With our eyes closed?
Eyes closed. Same thing we just did. Everyone's doing that now.
10 feet's about right in the,
There's some that's in the forehead.
what do you guys stand behind? Eyes closed.
Are we, oh, all right.
Hit it. No, Larry, where your ball is.
I don't think we're supposed to set it.
Pretty sure.
Tell you what, why don't we,
Did it.
Mr. Woods, who's your partner? Judge Fitz?
Aaron, pardon me, Aaron?
Why don't we get two of you to come over here? We'll just come this way.
Aaron, let's go over here. Whatever you do to do it.
Here, we'll just come to this. I'll put a hole right here in the corner. You just come right to this.
You're gonna have your eyes closed.
Freeze yourself a little bit.
Left only.
Keep those eyes closed. What do you think you did? Pretty short. Pretty
Where'd it
good.
go?
I think I hit it to the right.
Short. If anything, it was going right or left. It certainly wasn't right.
Damn.
Long and right, that's pretty close. Just remember your partners, it's not about correcting, it's just about paying attention. We're just asking you to pay attention to what's happening here.
You're behind the hair left.
That's short and left.
Long and right and long. Yeah.
Right through the hole.
Right, short.
Partners, what we want to do is you want to notice how close your partner is. Anybody real close right yet? Anybody hit two in a row?
Short and to the right. Short and right.
No. Short right corner.
Right on.
I think it was
In the
straight.
hole.
You're right. You're right.
Really
Short and right.
close.
All right, Alex.
Same spot.
That one I could feel, that one I could feel. It was
Just-
good.
just
It felt good, you know.
Crease the corner.
One of those where you think, oh, it wasn't so bad.
Did it go through it?
Just to the right.
That one went straight up, the one as far.
What do you think, Alex? Just a little bit behind the hole.
Right in the money.
Just short.
Right.
I have to ignore what I've normally done.
Remember, it's really distinguishing the distance and whether it's right or left. The distance and whether it's right or left.
Part of the problem is trying to ignore what you've done.
Short and to the right.
Straight.
What was that comment, Aaron?
Part of the problem is trying to ignore what you've done in the
Long and a
past
little
to
left.
pay attention to what you're doing in this putt. I'm just going, okay, but too long.
Remember, the intention of this exercise is not to hit the hole every time. It's to be able to identify where the ball goes.
About the foot past holes right through it.
Oh, right. You're not quite a foot
Right
right.
on.
Perfect. Sam, you better take some
Hair
photos.
right.
You play golf. That's why I say that's 2 months.
I can say one thing, they're going over the hole.
Yeah, that was straight at it all the way.
That's a little long, maybe right through it, maybe a
That was
little
good,
right.
you could
Right
tell.
on to the right.
It was right at home, right at home.
Right on, hair short.
Left and
If you haven't switched yet, go ahead and switch. haven't switched, go ahead and switch. We're gonna do this for a while, so.
Please.
Hello out there in TV land.
Nice talking to you.
Here, obviously.
Long and left.
Long to the right,
Yep.
long left, long to the left.
Long and left.
Seeing this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I had to think of it.
Sure left.
Just a little beyond.
Long.
Go right over? Yes.
This thing's
Be right at it.
Well, actually, put it on.
Long right through the hole.
Left,
Short, right, right.
right over the hole.
That's to the right and short.
No.
That
was dead center.
Isn't that funny?
Short.
Long left.
You sit here and think you've done it wrong, even when you've done it right.
It was right. It's 4 breaks left.
Little left.
Short or right on?
Good. Right over the hole.
Long and right over.
Right distance.
Oh, no, you got a few more here, I didn't.
Did a couple more, and we're gonna keep going back and forth and switching on this one, so keep switching.
Should be short left.
Right? Short.
It is.
My practice strokes,
Uh-huh.
I give my practice strokes, I close my eyes. I'm always worried about it, no one knows where.
No one knows.
But I sit up for the ball, you know, it's funny because I'll tell the story.
Where am I?
Be right on.
Tell you what, what's always amazing is that people never notice your eyes. They don't.
No, that's true.
People don't notice your grip. You can cut cross hand. People won't notice that.
Left short.
Light on the hole. Right in the hole with the
Right
through.
and short.
Right and short. Long.
Right over there.
Straight. I thought so.
It's still going.
Right,
That should be on.
yeah, long. Past the hole. Yeah, just a hair right though. It's pretty darn close.
Is it right there?
Singe the edge of it.
This should be right on.
That's long, long and left.
That's right. Sure.
Long right through the hole.
Right on.
How many times have I said long right through the hole?
Right on.
Left and long.
Yep.
Too short.
Two more and then switch back.
Okay, it's on.
Long right through the hole.
Sounded pretty convinced to me, Judge.
Left and long.
Not too left though. You went over the hole.
A little long. Over the hole.
I remember doing this for a while.
I don't think I followed that. I wasn't hitting.
Hold it left.
On the hole long.
You pulled it left.
You rolled 5 or 6 times right over the hole.
Long but over it.
Short left.
Well, that was the best one. Tired.
You gotta get that through.
A little short. Go there.
Here to the left, here, right there.
Should be long left.
Long right.
Hold it. Right over the hole.
Right over the hole long.
Can't
He
miss.
says the hole.
Yeah, and it'd really be awful if we were trying
Long, but
to
I
miss
think it went
putts and
center.
they started going in. We really hate that.
Did it go center through it
Short
or?
right.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Right distance to the left side.
How much is the break?
Right.
Long right. First one you missed, the first one you said was good.
Question for everyone. Everyone stop for just a second here, right where you are. How many people are noticing that they're starting to be able to distinguish where it's going? Just raise your hands if you're starting to feel like maybe you're 1 out of 2. People are 1 out of 2. How many people are more than 1 out of 2? Yeah. One of the things, and Aaron said it was really great about, your past maybe shows up about what I'm doing in my putting stroke. But what shows up for you about your past that shows up there?
When I was trying to figure out what I was doing, I was paying more attention to what I'd done in the past than what I had done
Okay.
immediately.
Good. Okay. So what is it that you're doing?
Trying to pay attention to what I'm doing, not to what I did.
Okay. So one of the things that happens just by the manner of us trying to do that, give up trying, Aaron. Just give it up. Because it's not about trying harder. There's no way that we can really try harder and get it, because one thing I know, by all of you being here, you're trying hard. And that may not be the best way. What I'm talking about is pay attention. If there's one thing that we can get from tonight, to pay attention to what's happening. Where we started the night was a 3-inch putt, paying attention. We worked all the way to 3-foot putts, paying attention. Went to letting go. Well, now what's next? Now we want to be able to identify what's actually happening. So it's kind of a reality check about what happens when we're putting. The intention of the exercise is to be able to know where the ball goes before you hit it, not to make it go into the hole every time. That happens to be something that happens. One of the reasons why when you do this drill, after a while, is you're going to want to park it because the ball hits the hole so many times it spins out to the right or left. And it'll confuse you when you see the ball not going in. I've seen people make 10, 20 in a row doing this. One of the interesting things is that, I think it's even in the Inner Game of Golf, there's Al Geiberger had spent some time with the guy who wrote Inner Game of Golf, Tim Galloway. And one of the things that they worked on was putting with their eyes closed. And they said, Geiberger was unbelievable from 20 feet with his eyes closed. I mean, he was making like 60, 70% of these putts. And so Galloway said, well, we're going back on tour next week. Are you going to putt with your eyes closed? The guy said, hell no. He couldn't give it up long enough to say, hey, it's going in the hole. But you really have to maybe risk it. I think it's great if you want to go putt with your eyes closed. People don't notice that your eyes are closed. I mean, I love to think that people are crawling around checking out your eyes, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
You know, Galloway, and I did it for a long time, talked not about closing the eyes, but looking at the hole rather than the ball. And on short putts, I still do it.
Yeah. And I think one of the things we'll do is everything we're doing is a process to graduate to something like that, where you can look at the hole. And it's really about not making the ball the target. The ball just happens to get in the way. You may notice that all of a sudden you're getting ginchy down here. Maybe that's happening in there. Maybe you don't trust. That's one of the things that we really want to identify. The object of the game is not to hit the ball perfectly.
What Galloway said was, it's like shooting baskets. You don't look at your hands. You look at the basket.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool.
The ginch shows up when you try and hit the ball.
Why do you want to know here, why are you trying to guess where your ball's at?
Well, I don't want you to guess.
I mean,
I want you to know. If we brought in the best players, if we brought in tour players, they'd know exactly where it went. From 60 feet on a big curler.
Why is it?
Why is that? I say that they've developed an intuitiveness about putting and feel that is there, that needs to be developed, that can be developed.
So they know if they're pushing or pulling, what that's what you're saying?
And they'll say 10 feet all day. They'll tell you exactly where it went.
All right.
The best putters. My intention of this drill is for if you all in a month were able to know exactly where it went, you'd all be better putters. Because now you can open your eyes, and I'm going to say that if you open your eyes, your trust will be even greater. We'd like to think that it's even, but just by having your eyes open and it's there, you'll trust a little bit more. So that's part of that. But we really want to identify where it's going, what's going on, because different things show up for different people, like we talked about inside. It'll show up at different times for you. That's why as you start to look and start to notice things, even as you start to get something, if all of a sudden you get this drill, look at what you don't know. Not what you already know, and just what you know. I'm really for you expanding yourself, taking yourself way beyond looking at what you don't know, than just trying to feel like, yeah, I learned that. I know that. Okay? So let's go back to the drill, hop in there and keep looking at that.
We'll do one more.
Come. My turn.
Long and right. Long and low right, huh?
Wrong and right.
Hey, Vic, is that why Greg Norman tells me when I heard him say in an interview once, when he's in the zone and he knows he has 110 yards to clear the bunker and 114 the hole, he'll hit 110 1 foot, and he knows he'll do it.
Sure. Carries through your whole game.
Right on?
Yeah. Short right at.
Left and long. Short.
Left is good. Short, which
I had
direction?
experience short and left. I was watching left, just as soon as it goes. Long and right. I played Grange with him. He's hitting shots. He's hitting shots and saying how far it went with like to the foot.
Right, a little long.
And it's fun, and you gotta get
Right
clear
and
to
left.
be able to do that. It's something, yeah, well, it's absolutely something.
See, I thought that was a load the first time I heard it. I couldn't believe it. But I've been in the zone. It was the second time I shot a 77 that I could believe it. You just can do stuff you don't think you can do.
Knowing you already know.
Three right at.
Straight.
I'm gonna have to get out here with my dad.
Right over?
Should be close.
You came right here.
A little long, a little long.
Which direction? No, it was left. Left to the hole.
Left of the hole, but right there.
Yep.
All right.
Long and over the top.
Short and left.
Long, we'll go here, I'm sorry.
Long and left?
Yes.
Short and right.
Short,
Still left, but still.
Yeah, right there.
Right through here.
Okay, for the next couple putts, I want everyone to know, I want to just kind of get a feeling for the crowd here. Does everyone feel like their distance is pretty good right now?
Overall.
Are you watching your distance? How many people feel their distance is pretty good right now? Their distance is pretty good? It's okay? Okay. How many people feel their direction is pretty good? How many people feel they feel they know their direction more than they know the distance? Judge, do you feel like?
In feel?
Yeah. Okay, which is fine. If you don't, I mean, your partner can tell that as well by how you're calling it out, okay? So everyone, I get that everyone has the distance pretty good. So what I want everyone to do now, I want everyone to back up 4 feet. Just back up. Just so that you can just hit a little bit of a longer putt.
Down, get one of your eyes open, see what happens.
Different putt, different feel. You don't ever get to hit all 10-footers.
Left, that's short. Left and short.
It's a little right.
Middle of the top.
Center. You know better than hit it with the back of the putter.
a little right and about the right. A little right.
Right in.
Middle to the right.
I said about the right length,
Stop
so again.
Stop on the left.
There you go.
Short and left.
Call it more short and
Come in.
center.
To the right. Wiggle a little bit. Wiggle the line.
It should be close.
A little right.
Long and right.
Very similar, maybe a little left.
Great distance.
A little right, short, right, short.
Long and left.
That was a good, Dan, that was a great pass.
One of the things, and I think it's really great, because one of the things you're looking at is,
Little right, this way.
that should be short. When our game gets very specific, you're putting more better, because you're demanding so much more than ever just knocking it into the hole. And I think it does, it'll show up, the results show up how it is.
Short and a little right, almost right in.
Left wall was
Right, perfect.
Right on it with a little left.
I thought it was
Right.
short.
Found one.
That's probably short.
Just 14 feet.
Longer back, a little long and maybe right through.
a little short.
Short and right to the right.
I feel like a coupier.
Left.
Left.
Left and well.
Red 22.
Go ahead. Long to the right.
Long and center. Whoa, is it long?
And out right all the way.
I can tell that, yeah.
All the way to see it.
Pretty good.
Just to the right of the hole.
Should be right, that's about it. Yeah. Did it go over the hole around it?
No, it came.
All that was short and right. Just long and right, just burned the cone.
Okay.
Right distance left.
Right at.
Similar to last.
Right distance what?
Speed was going wrong. Yeah, right. But that's what's
Slightly
like.
to the right.
That's terrific.
Left.
Good putt. Right through the hole.
That's right.
To the right. That's easy.
Probably a little long.
Bad call.
Nah, it shouldn't. I
long
dubbed it.
Yeah, that was really.
Came right over the hole and roll left.
Great. Just keep noticing that.
Great physical.
That's right, just left a good distance. Oh, that one broke kind of funny. There's some weird
Left
breaks
and
in this.
A little long, right?
Glad you
No, it was right on it.
All through it.
That was right on it all the way.
Lots of short.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, buddy.
That should be good.
It's good.
That didn't break.
No.
I like the feel of it.
Yes.
Same putt
Great.
as last time.
Slightly short.
Slightly short.
That's left somebody.
No loss. You know, that looked like a different stroke that time.
I might have jammed it. It didn't feel the same.
You know those, Sam? Everyone wants to make you happy on
All right.
Think of that.
that you had.
Yeah, one of the things you want to do though too is you want to be able to feel like it's almost when you have those good putting days. It's like in the second it leaves the putter. It's like before it stops rolling. It's in. You've seen those tour players, they just kind of walk it into the hole. It's in. Get it out of the hole. Ray Floyd's always great because he's going the other way. His caddy's getting out of the hole. That's my favorite walk in.
That's left. About even with it.
That's a good putt.
Yeah, that was just good.
A little strong.
Wiggle on the carpet.
Over the tip.
That's the other
Yeah.
It's almost, it just tailed off.
A little right. Right distance.
Yeah, you gotta watch the
That's
range.
what I was, yeah.
Grain?
I think the grain goes toward the pool.
Right.
Yeah.
Always goes toward the water, and it's downhill there that way too.
King Kong Bundy over here.
Little light to the left. Way short. Hair right.
Left is about on.
That was a different stroke, that same one that's.
That one felt.
I like that one, but I think it was a
Yeah,
little
it was right in the
long.
hole.
That was right on it.
Hey, that one
All the way.
So one time I felt like I
Short.
jabbed that one.
Right on.
You're up there, and he said he jabbed it.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're looking to pick and miss.
Yeah, I know.
Similar putt.
What is it? Really
That's when you didn't get on.
Did it feel different to you?
That one did, and the one before the time went out did. That one I must have.
See, one of the things about that too is always
Right edge.
you don't notice that ball going way to the right. It's like something showed up and maybe slightly right over there. Our computer just kind of said, maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it's something that just kind of pops in once in a while. That's our humanness that unfortunately shows up and doesn't allow us to make 17 or 18 holes.
Yeah, it's right here.
But as we do that, remember,
Left.
you know, that's where you get your trust.
Make it up a little
Just a hair
short.
left.
Go there.
It was right on.
Long and left.
Yeah, it's dead center, just short.
That's the left and
That
on.
was like
Through the hole and then you pass
To
it.
the right, a little
a little
strong.
bit, circle a little bit.
Pretty strong and left.
How's he doing? How are you doing? Yeah?
I think it would have been if it was long enough.
A little long, but right through it.
One of the things we want to make sure, try to have everyone's attention for a second. The good doctor said to me something very great. He says, you know, I'm not that good at predicting. You know, which may be true for some of you right now. We've only got a few minutes left tonight. But as you look at that, and it's predicting, you know, we predict earthquakes, we predict that stuff. I'm talking about you can actually know, and the best putters know what's happening. So in the next couple minutes, take at least a few putts and really look at what would happen if you knew what was going to happen. And I would ask you as you leave to putt like you know what's going to happen. Because if you walk on the green and say, oh geez, here comes that 3-footer, oh God, I got that 3-footer, that 3-footer is going to get tough. Look at it, you know what's going to happen, and look at it from that standpoint rather than, oh my God. Okay? So thank you for that brilliant observation.
What you do with my ice?
Short, making me look
What do you
dumb.
think
There you go.
Right on.
Right over, beautiful.
Just a hair short.
Is this it? Or is it, did it?
Looking for a glass of water?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were nice. What do you think, Alex? Left?
It's right here.
A little short. Definitely left, but it wasn't, it was foot past.
Probably short, right.
I think the key is to do your pre-shot routine just like you do normally.
Yeah.
I think that gives you a chance to get the distance.
Strong. Maybe over the top.
Check in with your, check in
Just a hair left, but pretty
Yeah.
darn strong.
What do you think?
Good.
Could have had more than a 3-foot putt coming back, Alex.
Don, first two times you did your pre-shot, you took a swing. Ball before this. Nice to see you do that. You got three in the hole.
Definitely left, a little long.
So you see the result, left and long.
Sorry about that.
As you step up to this one, so how do you think about the last one being left?
Long and right.
Are you gonna be willing to give that up?
Yeah. Great putt.
No problem.
Okay.
See, I'm gonna
Get you
get
away
you for
from
a
left.
donkey point.
Step up to it, would it
Play,
do?
you can play better.
This is in the hole? It's like
Yeah.
fairly.
First one.
As I said, I can put it in my blog.
What'd you say?
I'm figuring out something I don't know.
You're right, it's gonna just over the outside of the hole. Sure. Yeah.
Strong, maybe over the top. Nice putt, right in the hole. Beautiful putt.
Give up strong there on the top.
Long left.
Go long left.
Not even.
See, right pretty much all the way, you see that?
Which is okay.
Not bad.
Leave that right
That's
there.
not wrong, you do.
Okay.
Short.
Long and over the
Gone.
left side of the
What do you do
right
about it?
side of the cup.
Might have gone in.
Let it go.
That was long.
You're a
I think
scabby
just on the right
finisher.
side.
Itself too working. He was playing Bob Roach. Skimmer putt the last time over the left side of the cup. Right now.
Right distance.
That's of course. Let it be right. Because as you step up to this one, let that long and right go.
I like the distance, but I think it may have been just.
About the right distance, might be on the hole.
Might be good. Yeah. Just coming right at the hole with a slow shot.
Make sure you switch it up here a little bit as we get done here.
Right left, Alex.
That came across the hole, that was a better stroke.
Yeah.
Maybe short.
Right over the line.
That's right.
Left side of the cup.
Notice that thing. When it shows up, get away.
That was
Step
Lars,
back into it.
the seat. He's the first one to give it. This is left and
Step
short.
back into it. Say, this is in the hole.
Yes.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Forget short left, just let it go.
Be major, okay, I think
Little
about
right,
it.
little short.
Little left and right on the number.
Center will, along hill.
Right at it, just short.
All right, rest, Alex.
Go right in.
Just hit him out.
Why is it I'm not confident when I shut my eyes, but I know I'm gonna drill it if my eyes are open?
All right.
Got to give something up to get something.
That was good.
Maybe that's the key here, look at that.
That was good all the way.
It was no deal.
Well, Robert.
And it was straight. Yeah.
Left, right, this.
There's a little left.
All right.
Almost in the corner of it.
This is supposed to be
Back,
back.
back real quick. That's all right.
I like it, if anything, it's a little right.
It's just short, it's right at the
All
left.
right.
Long or short?
Yeah, it's just short.
All right.
Right now.
Left or long? Maybe a little short right in. Okay.
Little short,
Yeah.
All right.
It's amazing how many times that pole gets in the way.
Yeah, that's right.
A little short right. That's close.
It is.
No, no, didn't feel the punch in my hands.
Not by much.
Right on. I like it.
It is right. You know, the funny thing is the first 5 strokes we get.
Don't
you
have
put a
left
cell
then.
thinking, now you gotta look at the whole field.
I'm thinking right. Definitely thinking right.
That's right. Went over it?
No, it was left all the way.
A little right.
Right and long.
Sam, are you on a seam of the carpet?
Pardon me?
Are you on a
I'm
seam
gonna
of the
see
carpet?
the carpet, yes. Seems like
Did you groove a little tunnel there, Sam?
Yes, I did. Little tiny,
No one heard it. It seems like you are.
That's good fun.
Wait.
It looked up, because I knew what it was. It said, yeah.
Notice how Dr. Sam just said, you know, I looked up because I knew it was worthless. You
No,
know,
I didn't say I knew where it was.
no, I thought you said you knew it was worthless.
Because I knew.
My hearing was askew, I don't know.
That's what he said.
And when Chapman
Yeah.
scans, it's a little right and short. A little right, but not short, okay.
Great.
All right.
The opposite.
Short, yeah.
Okay, we have a plethora of those. Let's get one in the hole, through the hole.
Okay, well,
I can predict it all.
not that one.
I just predict them all. I'm just predicting it all. I do the
There you go, I love it, right now.
Mind to make
All right, they're gonna be right up.
No more predicting.
Yeah, I can tell from the sound of the putter head.
Right in. Wait a minute.
Hold it.
You can.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No rules on that, are
A little pass through it.
Just
A little right too.
A little sharp and right at it.
What happened to this idea of going just like
Maybe a break.
a foot past the hole in case you miss?
Little short.
I can make those 3-footers, I can go by.
Looks good.
You're not my
I
dad.
can let that go.
Look at it. Let's go.
I gotta teach those tour pros if they're only making 55%.
We gotta try around here. Keeping our eyes closed, that should be hockey only.
Where did that go?
Just over the corner though.
Left, but I mean, you did
I
that?
gotta look at the hole.
I got this done.
All right, who's swinging into the tree?
It's a little more solid right
I
at it.
just found something.
A little right, I tell you that.
You found something?
Yeah. I'm looking at the hole.
Okay,
Let's have y'all stop for just a second.
Let's have everybody actually come on in. We should, if you want to hit a couple more in a minute, that's fine, but it's almost 8:30, we just want to wrap this all up. Grab a chair if you want to grab a chair, that's fine too. Let everybody grab a chair, that's probably a little simpler.
I'm for everyone in class on.
Let everybody, why don't we pick up a chair? Take these two, right here.
Here, ladies.
Carry chair.
I got
We've
it.
got them here for you.
I got it, I got it.
Jeez, I love this service.
It's a gentleman's game, you know.
Take advantage of that.
Are they?
I'm gonna fall off your chair.
Although usually I'm on the other end.
Good on my knees. What'd you see, Kevin?
One thing I noticed is some of you, in hitting those putts and in determining the distance and the direction on your putts, looking at it as a 3-foot putt and 3-foot putt that we're clearing, as we're trying to determine if we hit the ball short and long, or short and left, long and right. One thing I noticed is some of you were carrying that to the next putt. So you hit one putt, and you hit it and you say, okay, it's short and left. And you grab that ball, and all of a sudden you say, you're telling yourself about that past shot. You're saying, okay, that was short and left. Now I'm gonna make an adjustment and try to hit it long and right.
So
And what are you looking at there?
how did that appear to you?
it appeared to me as fear. You're fearing hitting it long and left, short and right. You're carrying your past with you into the next shot.
And what shows up to me and what I hear you talking about is really, there's a lot of trying in there.
A lot of trying.
Really trying to compensate, which is how we've always been taught that golf should be played, is that all golf is compensations. And there books have been written about it. Books and books and books have been written. You just gotta learn to compensate better, which I agree on, and maybe that's what we're doing. What I'm gonna say is that I would say that everyone has always been compensating on something they have no idea what the heck they're doing.
Did that show up for anybody? Did anyone catch themselves doing that?
I think you always think about what you just did. Well, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like.
Yeah, unless it was good.
One of the things that can really show up is why do we fear the first tee? And I think some people fear the first tee. If we talk to the 9-holes and the 18-hole group, how many people hate it? I hear that so much from that group. But why? And I'm going to say is that people fear that because they're worried about playing that. Now, that's not the way we really would like to possibly have them, look at it. I think a lot of men, it happens on the second shot of the first hole. They want to have a great time off the first tee. It's the second shot that ruins their day, or whenever it happens. That all of a sudden everything comes tumbling down on us because all of a sudden we're trying too hard and we throw that in there. What we really worked on tonight is we started in a 2-inch putt. We worked on that and getting you to check out what's going on. The intention of tonight was not to make it go over the X all night long or to go in the hole. That wasn't, we didn't even talk about that. And maybe it showed up and people, hey, great results. The results will show up. The partners saw the results show up wonderfully. What I'm interested in you getting out of tonight is that you feel comfortable knowing where the heck it's going. Ben Crenshaw is a very interesting putter. I mean, he just won the Masters. He's a great putter. You have, I've heard Dave Pelz, who's this dominant putting guru to all the tour players, talk about, well, you want to have your hands in all this garbage. I'm not really interested in that. But Ben Crenshaw brings it inside and shoves it outside every time. Ben Crenshaw's putting stroke isn't perfect by anyone's stretch of the imagination, especially if you were going to diagnose it biomechanically, which is how everyone wants to do everything now. With all the video we have, everyone wants to diagnose this and say, this is the way. Well, he puts just like Ben Crenshaw. Great, that's a great way, but know how Ben Crenshaw putts. Know how you putt. Not how I putt, not how Kevin putts, not how your partner putts. Know how you putt. So as you go out, and we're hopefully going to have some great weather and putt a little bit in the next week, I want you to really be able to check out knowing what's happening with your putting. You have permission to putt with your eyes closed. You don't have to tell anyone about it. Because one of the things that will happen, and this will happen, and watch this, is that someone will say, well, I'm putting with my eyes closed, so it doesn't matter if it goes in. I want you to feel like, hey, it's no different. The fact is we're still trying to play the game in the fewest number of strokes all the time. And you can play golf. This golf school is founded on 3 things. Performance, which I'm going to say is the last thing that'll show up. But it'll show up when we're not looking for it. Because I absolutely want you to get great performance. Learning, which is probably the biggest thing. If we can learn throughout the course of the next 5 weeks a lot about golf and yourself, that's what we want. But the third and the final leg is fun and enjoyment. If you don't have enjoyment playing golf, you are absolutely going to have a really hard time getting anything out of the game. Because I know a lot of people who don't have any fun playing golf. I don't think there are too many in this group. But is it fun? And how do we make it? I met a golf pro today. He honest to God said this. I won't say who it is. He's not at this club. But he said, one of the reasons that I don't play golf is that I'm a miserable son of a bitch when I play that. And I can't afford to be a miserable son of a bitch, so I don't play. This is a golf pro at a nice club on the west side. And you go, if that's where you start from, how is that? That's kind of a tough place to start. And how do you teach that? I don't know. But I'm just saying that. And that I think all of you are at this club for a reason. And I'd like to think that it is a lot more than just being a great player. Because I'm not interested in being great players. I'm interested in you having all those things be present in your golf. And so we'll get to that. Anyone else have any comments tonight just to close out before I tell you what we'll do next week?
Do you feel that the game of golf is
I'd say that it's not cerebral, I'd say it's experiential. Because I think that what we really want you all to do is to be able to experience your own golf game, which is maybe something you've never done. Because if we get cerebral, that means we could sit around and do the whole golf school inside and not ever hit a shot and just talk about it. That's what cerebral means to
See, that
me.
probably just made that. It's
Yeah.
like it's a mindset, just,
I think that, I've looked at it the whole way around, and it really is that, yeah, we still have bad attitudes, our bodies aren't great, all of these things lead up to it. And if it's a mindset, I don't know that it's a mindset, but it's more of a way of being. It's really looking at how you are on the golf course. I mean, so many people come to the golf course, in different ways. I mean, everyone comes to the golf course differently. Some people come to the golf course and they're miserable coming from work and have a great time playing golf. It's wonderful. Other people have a great time at work, come out and leave, and they're just miserable leaving, like this golf pro. My disappointment to my own profession is the fact that golf pro, who I know, who's a very well-respected golf pro, that's how half of my profession feels. I don't want to play because I'm embarrassed, because I'll be a miserable son of a bitch. I'm not interested in that. I mean, I think that's something that I would really like you to say, why do you play golf then? Why do you do this? Maybe it's the only thing you can do. Maybe you're limited that way. I don't want to put any limits on you. So as you look at how you play golf, that's how you come. You come to the golf course pretty excited, generally speaking. I mean, it's not most of our club. One of the reasons that I came back to this club, I can honestly tell you, is that that's how most of the members are here. This is really a great club for people who really enjoy being here. And I think that's what makes it very enjoyable for me to work here. People love being here, and that's great. That's what I want. But I also look at it from the other side. It's not just being happy being here. There is a learning and a performance side that we have to take into account. So part of that cerebral, yeah, there's some cerebral aspects to golf.
And it seems like that's been your goal for so far, just to get your mind to relax and just.
Yeah, that's where we want to go.
Letting go of the fear.
Pardon?
Letting go of fear. And looking at that 3-foot putt, fearing that 3-foot putt. It's not only a 3-foot putt. It's an 80-yard bunker shot, hitting a 125-yard shot over the 9th hole. It's hitting off the first tee and not putting it in the right trees. Hitting off the first tee and making sure you get it airborne when you're fearing that you're going to look bad in front of 35 people who are watching you.
It'll show up in all areas of your golf game. And I think that putting is 40% of the game. And I think that it's the place to start. And next week we start to get into full swing. So we're still going to carry through the putting and have this show up here and there, and it'll still be a major part of the school. But what we've done here with putting will show up in your full swing as well. And I think it's really to identify, for you to have an ability to look at your golf game from a place that you've never looked at it before. Because unlike some of these other golf pros who say, well, there's putting and then there's golf. There's putting and there's hitting. They're two different things. I don't think they're that different. They have different motions, but it's still the same game. You have to have different skills. I saw a great quote from a guy talking about, his golf 90% mental is 15% mental. I think it's well spoken to say that it is 100% mental and it is 100% physical. And there is no separation between those two. And that as we start to get outside, there's a physicalness we want you to feel. There's a reality to the way that you putt. To identify that, and continue to identify that, is something that can have a lot of power when it shows up when that ball starts going in the hole. And that's where trust shows up, and there's lots of work. I mean, it never ends. I mean, I hate to tell everyone this is here you're in the golf school. Session 10, it's not over. That's when it really just starts, is that you get to go out and identify for yourself as to what it is that you want to make of everything. You're learning, because it really is learning. So that's really where I want to make sure that everyone is really looking at it from a learning perspective and a performance, because I can see it. It's interesting. I look up here and I look at, I think it was Mr. Thorpe saying, learning to get out of his way. One of the things that I look at as a golf coach is learning to get out of your way and how to not just jump in and be judgmental and say, well, you did this, you did this. That can be very difficult for a lot of golf pros, and it's difficult for me because I've been teaching like this for a couple of years now, but I keep getting better at it. And the reason I have gone this way is because of the results. I mean, people just can do it. As we start to hit golf next week and we start to take some pictures, you will see it in a way that I'm going to say you've never seen it before. A couple people have, because a couple people have done stuff in the past, but there definitely is a way that you'll see on video that we'll get at. So with that, as we do this next week, you're gone. You gone next week? You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. So the five.
Thursday and Saturday.
Blue Boy been going with you guys?
Oh, you got a Thursday and Saturday this
I don't know if he is.
I'm not sure about who yet.
Okay. So one of the things that I'd like to work out somehow, and Kevin, if you could grab a piece of paper, is there any time that I can get 6 minutes together before next Thursday? It could be Saturday, it
I'm
could be
open.
Sunday. Just for about a half an hour, tomorrow an hour. Tomorrow, great. Or an interview an assistant at 4 o'clock, that's what I have to do.
I could do Saturday.
Saturday's
Yeah. How many of you can do it tomorrow?
I could do it maybe 4:30.
I tell you what, this is what I'd like to do then. Let's do this, instead of trying to get everyone here together. What I'd like you to do is if every one of you, before, tomorrow, Saturday, I need each for about 5 minutes to hit a couple golf balls. So I'd like you to hit balls for about 5 minutes, and then I just want to take some pictures of you. And Kevin or I can do that so that we make sure that we fit it into your schedule. Everyone else will handle next week. But yeah, so bring a 5 minutes.
It's like a 5 minute.
5 minutes, yeah.
4:30?
Around
4:30 would be fine.
4:30.
Talking about the people who can't show up at the next week.
Right.
Yeah, the next one in particular, because I want to get everyone on video, because what we'll do from here, we'll divide into some groups here, because we'll do some things. And we're not going to show you anything tomorrow, but we are going to,
4:30 then.
About 4:30 tomorrow? Okay. Al, sorry, it'll be 4:30. Tom?
if you're late, that's fine too. That's perfectly fine. So that's great. So unless anyone has anything to say, I deem session 2 complete. And thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Where are you going?
It's downstairs.
I heard that they.
What's that?
You'll be here Saturday.
Wait till we tell you this.
Yeah.
Sure, thank you, sir. Very good.
That's where I'm pretty
75, I see.
So you left it at the mansion, wait, because the side
You're playing the scramble.
See, I know because when you went to New York, your teeth.
I'm not sure.
No right way that should be.
See you next week.
102 right now.
If you want it shorter, we'll go shorter. You tell me what you want to do. We can always lengthen it back up. Take care, guys. We'll see you
later.
So long, Kevin.
Thanks, Kev.
Hi, Kevin.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex, sir. Thank you, Vic. Probably better get my other club.
Before you go, stop down the golf shop so I can give you that video from the first session.
I brought both my clubs. I brought both.
Yeah.
You were told to do that, yes, you were.
I'll run down the shop over. You need those in your, yeah. Here, give me them, I'll put them in there for you.
You had a long day here, huh?
Pardon me?
You had a long day here. You were here early.
Is your putter? Yeah.